potential every Thursday with our podcast, Refresh, Relax, Renew. Join Coach Racquel as she guides you through personal development journeys. Each episode focuses on actionable steps to enhance your personal journey. The podcast features 3 main segments to keep you engaged. We start with discussions on trending topics relevant to your growth. Then we unbox solutions to common challenges we face daily. Finally, stay updated with fresh funding opportunities each week. Tune in every Thursday for new episodes, and see you there.
Episode 28.
Don't call me motherfucking trying to talk to me, find out some shit, talk about some gossip. Don't call me with no bad news. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't calling me to uplift me, if you ain't calling me to I'm not 911, I'm not in the mood, don't call me unless there's some love on the other end of the phone. Matter of fact, I'm working. I don't want nobody to call me. You know what I'm saying? Everybody do them. And
Episode 28 is completed. It is done. We just did that. You and me together. We did that. And today I showed you when I unboxed this game. Yes, this is what we unboxed today with a couple of other things like some lingeries and whatever. But this was the primary focus of today's unboxing, and I played a game and shared it with you. I just want to say thank you so much. I'm so humbled by your grace and your kindness and your support, and I thank you so much for being there for me. Thank you so much for your support and for showing up every day. So let's get into this segment. Episode 28, Refresh, Relax, Renew. Let's go. I love to open new packages. I want to deliver the latest information on the top funding opportunities for entrepreneurs who are seeking funding. Come along with me. I'm Coach Racquel, and it is a passion project for me, so I am so happy to bring this to you. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching. Some people have the idea that money will move everybody. But for me, before we even talk dollars, let's talk alignment. Let's talk, are we of each other? Are we birds of a feather? But they say birds of a feather flock together, right? You know what I mean? So, and before we even talk dollars and cents, for me, your 5 senses must have the capacity and the willingness to truly acknowledge me, right? Before I even think, even if I don't tell you this, these are going through my mind. Before I even think money with you, right? I'm thinking about how you see me, how you hear me, or whether or not you hear me. So your 5 senses are important to me. They must have the capacity and the willingness to truly acknowledge me and to acknowledge my value. Okay, to acknowledge my value, because only then can we enter the realm of possibility of respect. And respect for me is more important than loving me. Respect me. Don't love me. Respect me. I don't know why, but respect is of great importance to me, even more than that thing that they call love, because I don't even know what love is. I feel like love is an empty cup that you have to fill up with things, right? For you to say you love someone, you have to say you love their hair, you love their body, or you love their mind, or you love how they do something, or I love you because you're kind, I love you because you're this, I love you. It's like an empty cup that you have to fill up all the time. You know what I mean? But respect is just clear. You just respect me, value my presence, baby. You know, so the reason the 5 senses first have to acknowledge me is because of respect. So welcome to the Calm Collective, a sanctuary of clarity in a noisy world. And a very special welcome to all our members, returning viewers, and first-time guests. And also the people who will watch what do you call the replay crew? Yeah, the replay crew. Welcome to you too. You're listening to Refresh, Relax, Renew, and you're listening to and watching. For those of you who are not watching this, welcome to my listeners as well on all the podcast platform, because we are on all the platforms: Apple, Spotify, all of them. Amazon podcasts, we're everywhere. Okay. And let me say this, that on the podcasts, we are on the podcasts as Global Urban Media. It's important to tell you that. My apologies. So we not just air on My Coach Ministry, but we also we're a part of the Global Urban Media Network, a podcast network. Okay. So we also broadcast on that. We're live there right now too, on YouTube at Global Urban Media, as well as on other platforms at Global Urban Media. So we're a part of that network. So we broadcast on those networks as well. So you're listening to Refresh, Relax. You're listening to and watching Refresh, Relax, Renew, episode 28 with yours truly, Coach Racquel. Like I said before, your overall success coach. Today, we're talking about boundaries, mutual respect, and professional regard, the invisible architecture of any meaningful relationship, business, or otherwise. This podcast is powered by the Calm Collective at mycoachministry.com, featuring three key segments. We republish throughout the week independently. So we have Unbox Solutions with me, and that is independently republished on Tuesday. Free Money Wednesdays, it already says. And then we have Allegedly that we repost on Mondays. And our Monday conversation, this is our Monday conversation where we unpack headlines and hidden truths. And today we're going to be reacting to some videos. So how have you been? How have you been? How are your days? How is your mind coping with the challenge of a new day? Because, beautiful as it is, as every new day is, it comes with this fair amount of challenges, because we have to prepare ourselves for the unknown. What's going to happen today? I mean, there are certain number of things that we repeat, right? You may know that, yes, I'm going to work next Wednesday. I have a meeting on Thursday, but it's still a new day. Even though you may have certain activities planned, it is still a brand new day that you have absolutely no idea what's going to happen. You're just hoping that it will be the regular day that you're planning for, but that does not mean that that's how it's going to turn out. So it's a brand new day. So how are your new days treating you? How are you doing? Are you having a good time? Are you struggling with anything? Is there anything we need to talk about and discuss? Because we're here to support you. How can I support you? How can we support you? Let us know. You're not alone. You're not alone. Today, I'd like to share something special with you. And before I share this, I just want to say something. I want to say a special, very, very special, man. If I could speak this with gold, I would. If I could say this with gold, I absolutely would. I have been blessed with some angels in my life, some absolute angels. I mean, angels, And ever so often, I'm reminded of just how blessed I am to have them in my life. You know what I mean? And don't forget to let the people who you value and the people who make you feel valued, don't forget to let them know you value them and that you appreciate them. So I have a new book number 4. It's hardly a new book. Book number 4. This is book number 4, manuscript. Oh my goodness. Can you believe it? Can you believe the madness? That is this book. So my book number 4 is entitled Poetic Emotions. And I started writing this book my first year in university. I attended Northern Caribbean University, very proud now. Back then I wasn't so proud. I was just miserable. But I'm very proud of having gone there. Excellent school, excellent. And if I had kids, I would send them there. And my first year, 2001, I started writing poems because I struggled with suicidal ideation, and I was struggling a lot. And as I look back at it, most of my struggle was because I silenced myself. I would not allow myself to talk or express myself. And if things happen, I would just take it in silence. I wouldn't necessarily defend myself or say something. And it's so weird because the last 4 years, 3.5 to 4 years that I've been working on myself is when I realized I stop breathing when something happens, and that I choose silence. Even in dealing with people that I interact with, if something happens, and let's say I'm dealing with someone and I think that I'm having doubts about that person caring for me or being authentic or genuine, being genuine to me, I wouldn't go to them and say, hey, I have this thought. No, even when I dated and I did not realize this, it's not that I wouldn't talk about things. I would say, can I talk with you about something or whatever, share, but it was never really, my heart was never on the table, and I didn't realize it. The part that affect my emotions would be held in silence. I would just silence myself, and then I would just decide, you know what, this person's not good for me, I'm going away. That's what I did. I would not confront my feelings. I would not share my feelings with the person to say, hey, this is how you make me feel. Was that your intention or what? I wouldn't go through that. No, I seek to do that. But back then, and it is still a struggle because silence is what I've chosen. And the reason it's so important for me is because I didn't know I was choosing silence. Yeah, I did not know. I had no idea I was actually choosing silence. If you had asked me, I would have thought I was expressing myself, but I wasn't really. It was like I would stay away and say, okay, let's see if they're going to come to find me because I disappeared. How would they know? So what I did mostly when my silence choked me, because that's what happened. I was choking on silence. And I remember when I started writing this book, we were living in this community. We were in school. So it was me and at the time, my best friend. We're not close anymore, but I still love you, Marlene. I am so thankful to you for everything you've done for me and for your support. And I think my relationship with you probably was the most mutually beneficial relationship I've ever had anyway, because I know I was there for you. I feel like, yeah, this is somebody I was open with, I shared with. I was very open with her. Well, then that's the only person I've ever lived with. In that, as in lived with, as in shared a room, shared the bed and everything, and interacting. I'm not talking about when as a child or when I was younger and I didn't have a home and I stayed with other people. That's not what I mean. I mean as an adult, when we lived together and we had this friendship relationship, I thought anyway. I'm not quite sure now what we had, to be honest with you. I think, let me say this. What we had were two young ladies who were financially challenged, who found solace and support in each other during their university years. And I think that was one of those seasonal relationships that should have ended there. But I'm very thankful. I'm so thankful to her because she was there for me. And I'm also thankful to her that she was someone who I felt safe to express myself with. I was so intimate and open with her. And when I say intimate, I'm not talking sex. There were none of that. We both like men. Anyway, in this world, you just have to be clear, because I'm mentioning somebody else's name and I don't want, any confusion here. Yeah. So I remember we were living at this place, and there were so many worries going through my mind. And there was this huge tank at the front of the yard. and it didn't really have a lot of water, maybe just a little bit at the bottom, and a lot of like debris, different things that were in there, big, small debris, all sort of things were down in that tank in the bottom, and it never got filled. No, even when it rained, it never got filled, but it just had a little. It just like I'd say maybe to my elbow amount of water. Yeah, yeah, that I've ever seen in that much I've ever seen in it. So there must have been a crack or something. It was never filling up or whatever. But yeah, that's not important. But I would sit. I remember one day I was sitting on top of this tank, and it's like there was a voice talking to me, jump. Because I was so sad and I was crying, and before the tears even started running down my cheek, like I was crying inside. And I always did it in silence. Like I would go like maybe 5 o'clock in the morning, really early, and sit out there because I didn't really share what I was feeling. Like persons may assume that, okay, she's having some challenges. Because I mean, in college you have financial challenges, whatever. But for me, I think it was deeper. I wasn't quite clear all the time on what is it exactly. I would just assign the challenge I was feeling to whatever was happening on that day. Like, okay, I can't pay my school fee, or but it wasn't that. It was much deeper, but I couldn't tell what it was exactly. And so I would start writing about different things, and all the poems, and I would repeat that action and go there. And the reason I didn't jump, and this is the reason I had more of a suicidal ideation growing up and not so much suicidal, because this is the fear I always had. I remember sitting on that tank and I said to myself, I said, Racquel, if things are this bad now and you feel you have no one, think how much worse they could get if you do not die. If you jump and you don't die, think how much worse. Nobody's going to be there to take care of you if you're crippled and you can't take care of yourself for the rest of your life. And I'm telling you, honestly, that's the reason as I sat on that tank and I looked down and I thought to myself, I don't think I'm going to die if I jump, but I certainly will hurt myself, and that's going to cause me to need somebody. And it's funny because that's something that throughout my life, even today, I am more strategic in planning not to need people than I plan to live, if that makes sense. Because I growing up, I never felt confident that someone will take care of me. I've never had those thoughts in my mind. I've never had the comfort, the luxury of thinking someone else is going to provide, someone else is going to take care of me. Most of my life, it has been, I've got to make sure that I'm okay. Even when I was living with other people, even when people provided food or whatever, I still had to think, how is this going to, how am I going to survive? What I'm going to do? How is it going to happen? How am I going to get to school? Contrary to what a lot of people say, because again, I remained silent, and I credited my father for everything, even things he never did. But because I wanted to feel like somebody loved me, I would say my dad did this or my mother did that. There are times that I didn't even know where my mother was, but I would say my mother did this, or because I wanted to feel loved and feel like I belonged to someone and somewhere. It's like it was over different timelines in my life, over a different span of times in my life. And so for me, it's deep. I have a deep connection to the book, So it's called Poetic Emotions. When I couldn't pray, I wrote. When I couldn't pray, I wrote. And you know what? Usually I'd share one of the poems that I wrote are in this book. I'm going to share it from my book of prayers. So yeah, but I just wanted to share with you that, this is my book 4 manuscript. And I'm very proud of it. And it's coming to Amazon soon. So please look out for it. And I just want to say thank you to my angels who have agreed to review it for me. That means so much to me, and I don't take it for granted, because I'm not paying you. You're not being compensated. And I just want to say thank you. And of course, I like my books to be hardcover. So it's going to be hardcover, but it will also be on Kindle. All right. So I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for supporting the podcast. I appreciate it. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for showing up for me. And it is my hope that in so doing, you also show up for yourself and you're also supporting yourself as you support me, because what I do offers solutions and support to you. That's the goal anyway. Now we are going to go into our ASMR segment. Yes. Wow, look how gorgeous that is. All right. So I'm going to be reading. Hang on, let me put this back. It's a poem that was in that book, but I put it in this book. And I was really thinking, why don't I put it back into the book? But I didn't. Because I figure, it's in this one already. So this is my book, Prayers. It's on Amazon as well, amazon.com/author /Racquel R. Reese. So let me see if I can find it. The title is Overcomer's Prayer. Overcomer's Prayer. Yeah, that's what it's called. Let me see if I can find it. Okay. Let's see if we can find it. Okay. Where would it be? On which topic? Bear with me a little bit, please. Let me find it. I think it would be under healing. I'm trying to see which of the topics I would have had it under. Prayers for forgiveness. I found it. I found it. Here we go. Overcomer's Prayer. Overcomer's Prayer. Let's go. Overcomer's Prayer. Lord, please give me the strength to survive it. Grant me the wisdom to learn from it. Empower me with the will to leave it behind. Equip me with the courage to forgive the cause of it. Inspire me with the knowledge to deal with it. Teach me the patience to go through it. Guide my feet away from it. Let me know my ability to cope with it. Redirect my mind to never entertain it. Speak to me so I strengthen my heart to heal from it. Bestow on me the faith to overcome it. Guide my consciousness so I won't repeat it. Change my thoughts so I cannot be victimized by it. Amen. A poem and a prayer. That's what that is. Okay, so thank you so much for staying with me so far. It's now time for us to go to our unboxing segment. today I want to share with you an unboxing of a game that I purchased, IQ Circuit game, and I unboxed it. I want to share the unboxing with you, and then I want to play a game live for you. All right, so let's go. Let's keep collecting the packages and at Mail Pack. Thank you to Mail Pack for their assistance. Okay, so that this video is from my fitness vlog. I bought me some food. So first I'm unpacking some groceries, and I'm going to be skipping some of them because I really want to get to the game, okay? And I didn't get a chance to speed this up, so yeah. So I bought fritters, sugarcane, chocolate, fruit and nuts, some mayo, yeah, tofu, rice, just a couple of things I picked up. Toothpaste, what's that? Okay, sweet pepper, bell pepper, just a couple of things. And then these are the packages I picked up. Yeah. I really, really apologize if you're hearing the echo. And that's a pair of slippers I purchased. Love them. I wore them yesterday. My Jamaica puffy slippers. Love them. And that's me actually at home. Yeah, she's happy. Let's move on. Right. This is the game. Yes. Smart games, they call it the IQ Circuit game. This is really what I'm sharing with you, the unboxing of this game, and then I'm going to play a game for you. Aww. There we go. It comes with a little booklet. All right. And there were some other things that I unboxed, but let me just quickly get you through them because it really is a game that I wanted to show you. But these are some other things that I unboxed, like some night clothes, some panties, undergarments, knickers, whatever you call it, and a pair of sneakers, LA Gears, and this was what? What is that? Oh, nightgowns, lingerie. Yeah. And I also had a puzzle game that I bought, 10,000 pieces. I haven't solved it yet. I just haven't had the time, to be honest. Eco gel. So those were the things that I purchased in another lingerie. That's a nightgown. I got some sexy stuff too, Let me see. Show you. Oh, that one. I love that one. It's cute. The red one. I wanted to show you that little pink one. That little pink and black one is pretty sexy. I'm sorry for the echo. Here we go. Here it is. In this package. The game is the star of the show. All right, so let's now go to the game. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna play it for you. This is the booklet. And let's select a game. All right, let's see if we can do number 20. That's 20. I haven't done this before. I haven't done number 20 before. I think I'm currently at, which one was the last one? I think 15. Yeah, 15. This is the last one I did. 15, but today we're going to do number 20. All right. So let's put this right here so we can see it. And then here. Okay, so let's take these out. All right. Mix them up. It's a different, the shape that was there, we're doing something completely different. So there's no cheating happening. All right, okay. So number 20, this one, we're doing this one. All right, so the first thing I usually do is look, there are two clues there where they show you the shape for two of them. See? The white line around it and the white line around this one. So I usually go there, do that first, and then the rest. I think it's very, very important for us to do things that feed our brain. I know I have to. I don't know about you, but I have to. If I don't, I'm in trouble. Okay, so here. That doesn't mean I'm right. That could be very wrong, but we're going to do it. Wow, this is not as simple as one may think. This is not easy. All right, come on, you can do this. Okay, we're not doing too badly. We did it. So, number 20 is what we're doing, right? Take a look. Number 20 is what we did. Take a look. Look at that. I'm so very sorry for the echo if you're hearing it, because I don't know that you are. But this is it. I hope you can see it. It is very, very important for us to engage our minds, to exercise our brains, and to do things that stimulate thinking and thought. I love this kind of thing because I'm a strategic person. I love strategies and things like that. So I'm this kind of person who likes to do this kind of thing. So it's important to me that I have board games, I have puzzles. I have to have things that stimulate my mind, or I would just go crazy. So I have like puzzles, I have Ludo, Chinese checkers, I have checkers, I have snakes and ladder, and I have books. So now we're going to move on to our next segment. Thank you so much for staying with me so far. This has been Unbox Solutions with me, and today's solution was for the mind. It was for self-empowerment, self-growth, mental engagement, exercising the brain, and making sure that you are staying smart. So this is what we call the IQ circuit game. Now let's go on to our next segment, Free Money Wednesdays. Yeah, let's go.
Want to turn ideas into income? Say less. It's Free Money Wednesdays. Every week, we drop the hottest funding alerts, grants, scholarships, startup catch, and hidden gems. Tune in with the Free Money crew as we break down how to apply, win, and level up. From the blog to the tube, we've got you covered. Visit mycoachministry.com/blog or subscribe on YouTube at mycoachministry for the latest drops.
All right. So thank you so much for staying with us so far here on Refresh, Relax, Renew. And now it's time for our second segment of Free Money Wednesdays. And today we are talking about, let's go to it. So this is our grant funding checklist that you're seeing on the screen. And today we are going to be looking at number 2, eligibility. Are you even in the game? Are you in the game? And the subtitle under that will be Excellence Requires Professionalism. Excellence requires professionalism. All right. So we're looking at that today. Sorry. Excellent. The subtitle is Excellence Requires Professionalism, Preparation, and Policy Enforcement, even after you've been registered as a business. This is for your business, no matter what stage you are in the business. All right. So this is what we're going to be talking about today. Number 2 on the grant funding checklist that is currently on my website. So some organizations say we're already registered. We have our 501c3. We have our LLC. We have our business is legit and we are up in operations. Yay. Congratulations. Great. Step number 1 completed. But collective, a registration certificate is not a business plan, nor is it a business operations plan. Okay, the operational plan. It's like owning a driver's license and never learning to drive. You can't blame the car for staying parked. All right. And why are we talking about this? We're talking about this because we're talking about money. We lose out on money when we are not prepared for it. And I'm not just talking about grant funding, but we're talking about that too. Grant funding, customer money. money all over from wherever it comes, whether it comes through collaboration, whether you're asking for it in tithes and offerings. Nobody should be asking people for money if they don't have certain things in place, beginning with your paperwork, and right after your paperwork, professionalism, preparation, policy enforcement. I don't care if you're a church, a school, a little cook shop down the corner run by a Rasta man. That's the one I like. You still have to have a system in place that offers your customers security, right? When you're taking their money. And this too is for persons who are professionals who work independently. You know, I want to share this. I have a technician who I paid to fix 2 ACs in my home, and none of the ACs work, and I'm still waiting my funding. And every time he keeps telling me, I'll get back to you on Wednesday. And that was what he said when he was supposed to come to fix the thing. Oh, the lying, the lack of professionalism, the lack of policy. I will never use him again. And he better pray nobody ask me about him, because I'm going to speak the truth. It doesn't matter if you're an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, an omnipreneur, a serial entrepreneur, a business owner, a church operator. It doesn't matter what operations you run. When you are collecting people's money, you need to make sure that you are professional, prepared, and you have policies and guidelines for them to know how to interact and operate with your services. All right. And I'm speaking to churches too, who I think, and this is not any specific church, but I grew up in church, and there has to be a business behind it. And this is it, right? Sometimes I hear people talk about church. Oh, they were doing this, and oh, they were doing that. Listen, churches have to file taxes. Churches you should hold your leaders accountable to let you know, and for charities, to let you know, what are you doing with my tithes and offerings? What are you doing with these donations that you have a responsibility to follow up to know what is happening with this money that you're donating. How do you know they're not using this money to fund wars? How do you know they're not using this money to fund pedophiles? Are we going to talk? Can we talk? Can we talk? When you're spending your money, you should do it with responsibility. You know what? That's what I'm going to talk about next. That's what I'm going to talk about next. And I know we think about these things, and it's just that we may not think about it in the way that I'm talking about it right now. But I'm talking about funding for your business, funding for your project, funding. That's what we're talking about. All right. And the 3 key P's as you consider collecting monies from people: professionalism, preparedness, and policies. And not just policies, but policy enforcement. Right? So let's keep going. So the truth, paperwork is not professionalism. All right? Paperwork is not professionalism. Yes? Even among registered Black faith-based nonprofits, most still fail the eligibility test, not legally, but operationally. And why did I say Black? Because I am, I care about my people and what we do. And this does not mean that other people are performing any better. That's not what this is about. We are cleaning up our house. How about that, huh? We are here to clean up our house. That's why we're here, because I'm Black. And I want us to win. All right. So even among us, faith-based and nonprofits, most still fail the eligibility test, not legally, but operationally. They pass the existence check, but fail the excellence check. Even when they talk about excellence and good work and great outcome all the time, but are you operating in excellence? Are you? Are your communication in excellence? What is excellent? What does excellence mean to you? What is excellence? Because without professionalism, there is no excellence. Okay? And here is why. Governance without guidance. Governance without guidance. Are you guiding your people? Or is everyone just going by the fly of their pants? Is that the phrase? Or everybody just getting up and doing what they feel like doing? Do your people even know your goals? Do they know your professional goals? Do they know how you want them to communicate with your customers? Do you have meetings with your team where you sit with your team and say, listen, this is how I want you to interact with my customers when they come, my tithers, my givers, my donors? Do you do that? My members? Because if you're not doing that, then how are they supposed to know? It means that they're running their business the way they choose to run your business, the way they would run their business. But that's not what you're reporting on. You're reporting on what the vision you have. But you're running your vision on their ideas. And that could be why you're not getting the funding, because though people maybe hear you talk and talk and talk, there's a conflict that they can't even put a finger on, but it's there. Yes, because the energy of you is not running through your business. All right, let's keep going. Governance without guidance. Common weakness. This is a common weakness. The board exists only on paper. We put the board together to get whatever we wanted passed. Let's be honest and let's face the truth, because a lie in any area of your business is a lie. Dishonesty in any way, shape, or form is dishonesty. And God does not like that. Or maybe he does in your world. That's okay too. The board exists only on paper. Members are often family, friends, or church staff with no independent oversight. Why aren't you getting funding? We're talking about eligibility. Are you even in the game? Yes. Now let's go to data. According to board sources, leading with intent. Leading with intent. Report 65% of small nonprofits lack board diversity and skill alignment. Many meet only once a year or rubber stamp leadership decisions. Some of them are not even meeting at all. Are your board members meeting? Church, nonprofits in our Black communities that are asking people to donate, give tithes, give offerings. Are your board members meeting every year as you're supposed to? If we call upon you right now, can you pull up your board meeting minutes right away? Can you do that? Maybe you can. So let's continue. Results. Funders are inactive board. Funders see inactive board as a red flag. Inactive board as a red flag, and it is. And not for all funders should see this. Your tithers, your what do you call it? Tithers, your offering givers, your donors. Are you intentional when you think about those people? Do you feel like you owe those people anything? Are you delivering reports to these people? Are you going back to them to say, this is how my organization is performing. This is what you're contributing to. Here is the impact that you're having. And you who are donating and giving, you should give with responsibly. Don't just give because they make you feel emotional and sorry for them. No. And I'm calling out churches and nonprofits and individual professionals, consultants who work independently. You still are obligated to be professional. Yes? Yes. All right. So here is a tip. Your board should govern, not gather. Create committees, finance, governance, programs, minutes, motions, measurables. If your board can't debate the budget, it can't defend your funding. Some of us can't even get people to join our board. And you have to ask yourself why. Are you structured and organized? And are you even when you're inviting someone to come on your board, do you do it with professionalism? How do you do it? Or you send a text message or one of those emails that look like a text message. Hey, can you want to join my board? Are we being professional? When it comes to God's work, kingdom work, how laxed are we? How laxed are we? How intentional are we? How professional are we? Financial reports without financial literacy, common weaknesses. They file annual reports but don't understand them. The treasurer is a volunteer, not a trained bookkeeper. Some of them don't even sign because they're so happy to say, I fall below the requirement. I don't earn a certain amount, so I don't even have to file. And because you don't have to file for the government, do you file for your own company? Do you file for your members? Do you file because somebody gave you $1 that you are accountable for? See, some of us who call ourselves organizational heads and CEOs and all these lofty titles, you only care about government. You only care about what the feds hold you accountable to, the justice system hold you accountable to, the licensing body holds you accountable. But what about the respect for your people, who you should be accountable to, the people who are donating every time? What about those people? Even if they don't know you as a leader in God's name, you're obligated to do that. Your integrity obligates you to do that. So are you really working for God or yourself and calling it for God and calling it for charity? Are you? Okay, I'm just asking. All right. Data. Non-profits under $500,000 in annual revenue report fraud losses 40% higher than large organizations due to poor controls. And that is from the ACFE Global Fraud Study 2024. We have the sources here. I'm not talking off the top of my head. I didn't just go to ChatGPT and say, pull this up for me. No. When I research, I want evidence-based data. Yes. The results: late filings, missing audits, and underreported revenue disqualify you from most federal, corporate, or foundation grants. And you say, this is it. When you have an organization that's not operating with professionalism, they pressure the poorer people because they can't access free money in funding and grants. They're not able to access it because they're not operating at a level that allows them and affords them to access those free money. And so they pressure the little people when they have the ability and the opportunity to seek funding so they can bring that to their community to build programs that their community can then uptake. And in uptaking such programs, those people become more skilled, more capable, and can create opportunities where they can earn to then give back to the organization, whether be it a church or a charitable organization. But instead, we don't operate that way. So what do? We go to the little man and we play on their emotions and we gaslight them and we trauma economy them and we get them to give us the little last we got and the last they've got. And then we don't even hold ourselves accountable to reporting to them. Because what? We don't respect them. We don't respect the little church member who comes in and give offering, do we? No, we don't. We respect the government. And the only reason we respect the government is because we know there could be implications here on earth to our physical freedom. We're out here talking about, you want to talk God? Let's talk God. Because God says you respect the least among us. And the least among you in your church, the person who gives the dollar, deserve the reports. They deserve your professionalism. It's an organization that you're running. So let's talk God in real terms. Because see, we like to talk God in Bible because Bible is so broad and it's all literary devices. So there's no obligation when you're done except you make people emotional. And I'm not saying it's not important. That's not what I'm saying. That is just as important as the rest of this. Your message is as important as the rest of this. But this is what I want you to understand, that this is as important as your message, as your ministering, as your evangelism. This is a part of ministry. What you do with people's hard-earned money, be it $1 or $1 billion. And it's time we start treating people with respect in the house of God and in charitable spaces and in professional spaces. It's time we start. If we want to talk real God, this is it. Real accountability. All right. Now, here's a free money tip for that. Hire or contract a CPA once a year, not just for taxes, but for systems. Systems. You see, government, well, not just government. But I do work with government. I work with NGOs, GOs, professionals, all of these people who I work with them to help them build strategies for their companies, right? And this is it, right? I have found myself sitting trying to do this for free with people who don't value it. They don't even use it. They don't care. You create it for them and they're gone. You know how much? They don't even know how much I am paid to develop these strategies. One of my strategy, the last communication strategy I did was for 1.5 million Jamaican dollars. And I sit with people and do this for free, and they don't even appreciate it because they don't even know the value, because they have not been practicing God leadership. Because we are trauma-led, trauma-influenced, and we have this trauma economy that we run churches and charity on. Yes, I'm saying it. I think I would say most churches and most charities run on trauma economy, not professionalism and business plan and business strategy. And it's a shame. And they sometimes don't even know it. But we're out here talking about God. Now, if we're talking about God, let's talk accountability, because God equals accountability. And ignorance is no defense of the law, because the only thing we care about is the government, because they will penalize. We only cater to the rules that penalize. We don't cater to the rules where we respect God. We talk about serving God. Do you respect God when you're running an organization that you call God's name? Do you run it with respect so that when people encounter it, they know that they should respect God? The people don't respect God. Look how we operate. We don't respect God. We use God. That's what we do. We use the name of God. We use trauma. We use all of these things to satisfy whatever desires or religious desires we have, or whatever gaps we have in our minds, whatever emotional thing we're going through where we feel we need God. Let's talk real talk up in here. Because as an entrepreneur, I have systems in place, not because anyone tell me to, but because I have to. Because I report to me. I am the one. Listen. Yes, I report to me. And you should be reporting to yourself and your members. I don't have any members, and it's intentional, because I know it comes with a certain degree of responsibility. That's why I'm not running an organization. But I love to support persons who are. And I've so often I've tried to offer free support, but I realize that they're not even thinking in that realm. Or perhaps they have other people who do that for them. That could be it too. So in relation to, and that last statement I just made was in relation to who I seek to support, right? But this is not about them. This is in general. Our community is broken for these reasons. Leadership is lacking, even in organizations that every single day come to tell you about leadership. Now, ministry without management systems. Was I finished with that? Sorry. Establishing money reconciliation plus dual sign-offs for expenses. Audit trails equal eligibility power. Because what are we talking about? Eligibility. Are you even in the game for free money? Ministry without management systems. Common weakness. The operations are The operations are passion driven, not process driven. That matters. And this is so true. That's what I'm talking about. We're operating in the trauma economy. So the passion is there, the emotions are there, but the process, the technical operations are not there, right? It's passion driven, not process driven. And passion is number one. We know you have step one down, and that's good. Congratulations. But you're not done yet. You're not finished building the house. There's no project management, HR, oh my gosh, or internal review system. Data. A 2023 Stanford Social Innovation Review brief found that Black-led faith-based nonprofits spend 50 to 60% of their time firefighting, reacting to crises instead of building systems due to a lack of administrative support and digital tools. I'm telling you, if my clients are honest and you ask them and they understand what you're talking about, they'll sit down and say, oh my gosh, but Coach Racquel tried to help me to do this. Because this is my area of expertise. This is what I do. I'm a communication consultant. I build strategies. Yeah, and sometimes I try to do it, like create operational plans, PMASs, personal management appraisal systems for individuals. Even just as an entrepreneur, you should have a system that you work off for yourself. How do you know when you achieve your targets? Anyway, I used to do that for persons and it just wasn't appreciated, so I just stopped. Results. Even with programs that impact the community, they can't document or replicate successes, and funders require both. What's your succession plan? If you die right now, does your church continue? Because if it doesn't, then you need to have a conversation with God. Then what is this investment for? Is this just for you to have something to do, or is this really, as you talk about, that you're here to serve God? Because if you're here to serve God, then this service should last even long after you're gone. We have to be honest with ourselves and know, why are we doing these things? Is it because we're trying to satisfy something within ourselves? Or is this that we're seeking to really do God's work? Does God's work in your book have longevity? Does it have a succession plan? Or does it start and end with you? Does your ministry, if your ministry begin and end with you, when you die, your ministry die? Was this really for God? I'm not saying it isn't. I'm asking. And we've got to be honest. Speak the truth. Speak the truth. Because you see, when we look at other organizations that are not faith-based, they have succession plans. They've been around for decades, for years, and they're accessing funding like madness, and people are spending with them because why? They feel confident that they're getting what they're paying for. I told you last episode, no, the episode before the last one, the amount, I thought the 90s, I don't want to say the wrong number, but a lot of free money is out there for charities, non-profits, faith-based or otherwise. It's there. But number 2 on the grant funding checklist, eligibility. Are you even in the game based on your operations? We're talking about the 3 Ps, right? So document every outreach, training, and testimony. Even that. Are you documenting your outreach? Listen, I had a partnership with one of my angels, and I remember we were talking the other day, and because we ended after a year, there's some things I never really got a chance to send in the reports and stuff like that, because it kind of ended sudden or whatever the case may be, right? And I remember we were talking and I shared with him and I said, hey, here's a report showing you what you contributed to, what you did, what we accomplished for that year. It was a full report, numbers that he can cross-check and double-check and call up the people. Reports. We had reports, and even for my clients, I always have reports waiting for them to ask me for it. They didn't ask me to put it together, but it's just how I operate. And even for some of my clients, depending on what package you have or whatever, I publish reports based on what the agreements are. But I ensure those things are included. And this is not about whether or not you know something. It's whether or not you're paying attention. Is whether or not you're constantly getting coaching and you're doing your research and you're making sure you're up to date on business, your area of business and how it's supposed to be run. You can't just be studying Bible. You have to also be studying business. And that's why you hire the right people to help you, to put that passion into process. I do that as a coach. As a coach, I help persons repurpose trauma into purpose, and I help them transfer passion into process. Anyway, you have to know, I always say this, you need to know the people who you have access to. Nobody hired me for that. But if you don't pay attention to learn about me, you wouldn't even know that I can do that. The other day, right? One of my clients someone was referred by virtue of they participated in one of the live programs, right? And the person reached out to me and like, oh my gosh, sorry, the one of their guests reached out to me for a service. And we ended up having a dialogue to understand blah, 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 blah. No, this is someone who understands business, yeah? No, this is a business leader who understands business, and we're talking. And so after we were done talking, apparently based on what the client came back to me to say, they went back and had a conversation. And my client came back and like, oh my gosh, this person, wow, God would have it that I'm interacting with you because this person thinks I'm all of these things just by having a conversation with you. They're thinking, oh my gosh, you have access to this person? Because they're thinking, I am so smart and I have all these access and stuff like that because this person understands business. My client did not. So my client was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe, because this now is somebody they also value in a different kind of way. They look up to in a different kind of way because of titles and positions, right? So when the person who had the conversation with me learned about other sides of me and went back to my client to thank my client and big her up, like, oh my gosh, you always have these, yeah. So my client came back and was honest, like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know all of these things. And I said to the person, one of the reasons we lose is because we don't investigate the resources we have access to. We don't know the people we have access to. We have no interest in them and what they do. Look at my podcast. Every one of my clients should be watching my podcast. Every single one of my clients, because I'm talking about money. I'm also talking about topics that matter to me. You see what I'm saying? Everybody I work with, I study and invest time in learning. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Anyway, policies without practice. Common weakness. Policies exist for optics, not operation. Conflict of interest, safeguarding, financial management, all filed away, but never reviewed. So I'm saying they make sure that wherever there may be penalties, that's covered. But where there is God, what about that? God is not going to come down here and put you in jail for something. But if you represent God, you should care. You should care about how he's represented, how he's viewed based on your operations. The moment you say God, people, just as what I said to you a while ago, if that person had come to me and had a terrible experience, they would have looked at the other person differently. Reputation, right? How you operate will dictate how people see your God. How you represent your God unknowingly, unconsciously, influences how the people looking on view your God and how they see your God as a good God, a bad God, a poor God, or not a God at all. Based on your operations, people are watching. People are watching. And sometimes that's the reason some of us never grow financially, because people don't see where they can invest here. Some people, even on YouTube, who's watching and why are they watching? Why are they watching other channels but not yours? Watch the other channel and you'd learn why. Because they're putting in investment, they're investing money, they're investing time, and they're investing learning. They're putting in these business principles that give people confidence to do business with them. The same thing for churches. We just take it for granted that emotions is going to get people in and get them to stay. No. You have to have a business around it that lets them know that it's not just time wasted. It's not just you get emotional and that's it. Just trauma and that's it. And they dance and party and then you're gone home and you don't hear from them again. I talk about this too in another episode that I did talking about the trauma-led theology. It's failing, and that's why a lot of churches are not getting any money unless they know somebody. Because you're just on the trauma economy and that's it. The trauma-led theology and that's it. And a lot of charities do. Anyway, so that's what the common weakness. Policies exist for optics, just to show, but not for operation. The team don't even know what your policies are. Okay. Conflict of interest, safeguarding, financial management, all filed away, but never reviewed. Data. According to the BBB Wise Giving Alliance, 60% of small religious nonprofits fail accreditation due to lack of policy enforcement and board independence. The result? Grant reviewers can spot fake compliance instantly. You lose credibility before the first paragraph. And let me tell you something. These funders include, this is not just restricted to grant reviewers. The people who you're asking to donate are thinking they may not be able to put it in these words, but the reason they're not donating and they're not investing in you is because they're not confident and your compliance is fake or lacking. They're not seeing your compliance. Anyway, free money tip, train your team annually on each policy. Keep signed acknowledgement forms on file. Minutes of board votes equal proof of governance. Policy don't protect you. Practices do. Practice does. Policies do not protect you. Practice does. Even your team that's working with you, are you constantly educating them on your policies and the strategic objective and the goals of your organization? Do you call meetings with the people who serve you? Do you have customer service meetings with the people who are serving your customers and speaking to your customers and your stakeholders? Do you call meetings for those? Do you have meetings where you talk with them about what your goals are for your organization, what role they play in it, and all of these things? And if you're not, why not? You represent God. You represent God, no? Now, the wake-up call. Here's the wake-up call. You can be registered, respected, and even recognized and still not be ready. Registration is step one. Professionalism, preparation, and policy enforcement are what keep the blessing flowing. You think God isn't looking at that and knowing who he's going to trust with his favor and who he's going to entrust with his people and who he's going to entrust with the monies that he gives his people, the blessings he gives to his people? God is not careless. And that's why some churches will not grow, no matter how amazing and wonderful it is. It's not growing in numbers and in support because the everything is not in alignment. One area look great like it's operating, but then when they meet you, you're clueless. You don't know. Some people don't even know how their organizations are running. It looks good, it's growing everything because the team is actually doing its job. But you don't even know what the team is doing. Do you know your website? If I say to you right now, what paragraph? Tell me a paragraph that's on your programs page on your website. How many pages do you have on your website? How does your website flow? If someone comes to you right now and say, I went on your website just now and I had a problem, would you be able to answer it? Because guess what? Unless you've hired an administration for that, that's your job. And even if you hire I know every page on my website, and it's not because I design it, it's because I use my website. I go on my website, I explore my website, I test it. I have to know what's there because I care about the experience my visitors have. I watch them when they're on the site. I check which page they go to. Yes, that's your business. You have to know your business. Your website is no different from a building. You have to know the building inside out. You've got to know the website inside out. You must know what is everywhere. If a change is made tomorrow, you should know it without someone having to tell you. That's your business. That's where your customers are coming. Anyway, if you don't run your ministry like an organization, you're running it like a miracle, and miracles don't scale. Right there. So here's the call to action. Well, if you'd like to, you can go ahead and download this checklist. Of course, you have to be a member of the CALM Collective to get it. Grant funding checklist. So you can, because I'm going to be sharing on there the 3P eligibility audit checklist that I just discussed with you. I'm going to be sharing it at mycoachministry.com/support hub. I shared on the support hub. I also, because it's going to be on my, it will be there, because it will be my weekly boost it was for last week. When you're watching this week, it would have been published already, right? So ask your board 3 questions. Are we governing or gathering? Do we reconcile monthly? When did we last train on policies? And you should ask yourself this. If you have a team, because some of you don't have a team, you operate by, let me change that. You all have a team, even if the team is you alone. Do you have meetings, organizational meetings, to ensure that you're on target, to ensure that you're clear on the target? How long ago did you write your organizational goal and vision and the document or whatever main thing you have about your organization? When you had that vision and you put your project together, how long ago did you write that? How many things? How much has changed in business and in your operations since then? Right? A lot of things have changed from yesterday to today, from last week to this week. So you have to revise it. You have to update it. Are you doing that? Is your documentation up to date with the new realities of today, the digital realities of today, and where we're heading for Vision 2030, 2025? Like, are you moving ahead? Because a lot of us are lagging, not because we don't have good business model, but because there's no practice, there is no policy, there's no professionalism, no preparedness, not even a knowledge. We don't even have knowledge of self, let alone the business. We don't practice to study our business and study our customers. And that's how you're going to grow. All right, that's how you're going to go. Now, that brings our segment of Free Money Wednesdays to an end. And I just want to say Free Money Wednesdays, where faith meets funding and structure keeps the blessing flowing. God need to feel confident in entrusting you with billions. God needs to know you can handle it and it won't just run through your hands. God needs to know you have the right team in place and that you are actually governing and leading with intention, that team, and the team not leading you. And you know what you have to do is hope and pray. Let me tell you something. Anyone hires me is a blessed person, because I operate on obedience and I cannot harm another person because I'm an entrepreneur and I've been through certain things. So I am very proactive in helping people achieve their goals and not making it about me. It would be so easy for me to do, but I don't do that because I understand that sometimes people just don't even know better, but they have such a heart, that they really have a heart, but heart alone won't get us there. You've got to lead, and you have to lead with intent. And what you don't know, you need to be unashamed to ask for. Be unashamed to ask for help. Seek help. Be help seeking. Anyway, that's all I've got to say. But that brings us to the end of Free Money Wednesdays, and now we're going to move on to Allegedly. Thank you so much for staying with me so far. I'm Coach Racquel, and this is Refresh, Relax, Renew. But now we're going into our third and final segment, Allegedly. And today, I'm just going to be reacting to some TikTok videos that connect with me in many ways. I want to share. Should I take this approach or should I wait until it's published? All right, let me wait. Let's take a different approach. Okay. Sexual trauma is a problem. Sexual trauma is a problem for our kids. It's a problem for our, I want you to see my horse. I like it to see my horse. Anyway, sexual trauma is a problem. Sexual trauma is plaguing our communities. Sexual trauma is plaguing our children. And I had a show, I produced a podcast, War Cry for Our Children. And in that podcast last week, the host and the panel, they had on there Miss Manhattan 2026, Ms. Ashley Staggers, beautiful girl, and very, oh man, I love her passion. And she was a victim and she's passionate about this. And I'll be sharing a view with her on Voices of Change. And I think I might, well, I know I'm going to feature it on here. I probably do that next week. I'm not sure. We'll see. But she came and she talked about sexual trauma, and then she gave data and everything. I'm not going to be going into the data today. Like I said, whenever I discuss her, then I can go into what she spoke about. But I want to go through these videos and then discuss it more, because this sexual trauma thing is a big thing. It's a plague, and it's not a regular plague that we all look at and say, oh my gosh, the hurricane is coming, we need to button up. And there's kind of a general consensus that this is a problem. You know? Like if snakes got if we got out of our house, or let's say in our community, or let me use the same hurricane, when different places flood and whatever, it's like a general consensus, like, yeah, whenever there's a hurricane season, and we know to look out for that hurricane season. I don't know that we have a sexual trauma united front. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but I feel like I don't know that I feel like every time something happens, people get emotional and that's it. But I don't feel the sense of urgency, the sense of community, the sense of accountability, the sense of willingness to hold just about anyone accountable in a united outreach kind of way. What I see happen is, when it happens, we demonize individuals and that's it. There's not this global health approach to it where, hang on, who are these perpetrators and why are they perpetrators, and what do we need to do to change this or to mitigate against this? I don't feel that. That's what I'm saying. I feel like that's missing. We're busy in the blame game of individuals, but that's not a structured movement. That does not mitigate against the danger, because that is reactive. It's not proactive. But we need to be proactive at this. This is too important. This is the future of our kids. I mean, I don't have kids, right? So who am I to think that I care more than parents do, or I know more than parents do? Because I don't. I do not. I absolutely do not. And I'm not professing to. But this is allegedly, and I'm Coach Racquel, and we're getting into it. So let's go. Let's go. Before we go any further, I just want to share the copyright disclaimer on the section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. And I always say this, I want to say thank you to everyone that's a part of this conversation, if you're mentioned by name or not. But if you feel like you're part of my story, or you're part of this dialogue, or part of this conversation, please know it's a compliment to you, no matter what position you're in, no matter what role you play, villain or hero or whatever you call it. Yeah, I see it all as one and the same, because we're the human race. All right. And I want to say thank you for your experience and for your story. That allows me to do my self-work. It influences me to check myself, to look at myself, and to work on myself, so I can become a better version of myself, so I can have breakthroughs, so I can live with myself, so I can feel like, okay, I am working on my conscience is alive and well, and I can at least check myself, and I can hold myself accountable. Breakthroughs, I can also access those rewards and blessings that God has for me, because it's not clouded. I'm not clouded and blinded and trapped in my trauma, but I can repurpose my trauma for God's will, so I can be rewarded for it. And I can be guided to help and support other people to avoid it, get through it, surpass it, heal from it. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about breakthroughs. All right. So I thank you for your story. I thank you for your videos. I thank you for your experiences, no matter what it was, no matter what role you played. Thank you. I value you and I thank you. Okay? So now that we've done that, we are now going to go to our first video. And I'm thinking, because I want to make sure that I truly went through all that I needed to say. All right, first video.
It's not the worst thing ever. Like, I saw my daughter unrecognizable. Her hair.
Hang on here. I want to say something, and it is. Let me try to say it the right way, so that the best way I can, so I get understanding and not misunderstanding. I don't mind critique, but I don't want misunderstanding. I'd like to avoid it if I can. Now, I don't want you to be emotional when you're listening to this. I need you to have clear mind. I don't want you in your trauma when we watch these videos, because I need your mind, your brain. I need your strategic mind. I need your wisdom. I need your experience. I need your professionalism. I need your skill. I need you to go through this with me very aware, very as little emotions as possible. I never said care. Be caring, be kind, be here. But I don't want you to be trauma influenced as we go through this. So I might be asking you to do a difficult thing, but I'm please asking you at this moment in time, do not be trauma led as we go through this. And I'm doing the same thing. It's not easy, but we can do it, because we're talking about the future of our kids, and we cannot lead them with trauma colored views. We have to lead them with wisdom and knowledge and awareness and strategy and plan and strategic partnerships and strong, healthy relationships and truth. So I'm asking, and I know I'm asking a lot of you, but please, my calm collective, I want you to be calm, and I want you to be focused, and I want you to have the protection of our kids and wellness and the health and the potential of our kids, the capacity for them to achieve their fullest potential. That's what I want you to be at your mind. I don't want you to remember your trauma. I want you to think about their lives and their fullest potential, that we have to protect their future as we listen to this and reflect on what's happening. All right, come together. Let's do this.
I literally saw the worst thing ever. Like, I saw my daughter unrecognizable. Her hair was scalped from her head. She had bruises and blood all over her body. Her eyes was filled with blood. Her lips and mouth was filled with blood. Her nails had dirt, debris. I want her to just to be somewhat of a normal 5-year-old again.
My God. She spoke about the future, what she hoped for the future of her child, for her to have somewhat, and she's in the trauma of it, somewhat of a future again. I hear doubt that it might be what it was meant to be, but it can. Let me put it that way. How are we as adults operating that our kids are attacking each other? If every church is not sitting down questioning itself right now, we have a problem. Because you know what's sad about this is that believers, faith leaders, kingdom builders sit and look at this and get angry and emotional. But what I'm challenging you to do, if you're one and you're listening to me right now, I'm challenging you to check yourself. Check yourself. And I want you to ask yourself, and I want you to go back to the reports for your organization and look in it and see what successes you've achieved in the area of protection of kids. What are the policies and programs you have in place that you are implementing, managing, and monitoring and reporting on? that is geared towards healing, outreach for children, healing for parents, the protection of children, because you see, we can't even think about the child's future until we help the parents. Until the children have healthy parents, they can't have positive outcomes the way we desire it, because they're going to have to cultivate that positive outcome themselves. I had to do it for myself. As a kid, there were too many people around me, but everyone busy doing their own thing. Everybody busy telling me about God. 33 years I was in that church. And did nobody seek to do anything to help the traumatized child I was. And I was constantly being traumatized. And that's what I'm saying. Everybody's awed. Oh my God. Everybody's shocked because nobody knows this is happening. Nobody knows it's happening, but guess what? It happened to them. But nobody knows it's happening, but it happened to them. See, some of us even go to therapy, but many of us don't go to trauma coaching. Coaches that know how to transform and repurpose trauma. That's why we have so much trauma-led programs. Everybody moving, but no progress being made. So, my Calm Collective, we're not getting emotional today. And it's hard. It's hard because I was crying before I even started the recording. And I said, we're not doing that. We owe our children more than emotions. Enough with the emotions. They are living in terror. And we're over here being emotional. It's not about us. It is not about us. It isn't about us. Love is lacking. Who are we being? That kids could attack kids like that. Her hair out of her head. It was pulled out of her head. And it's that child I want you to think about, and the others right around you right now that are being harmed and you don't even know your own kids are being affected and you don't even know. That's what's frightening, you know? That your own kid in your house, who you're doing everything, you think you're doing everything, and they could be affected and you don't even know. Let's keep going to show you why they might be affected. Now, let me be clear on this. I did not do any research to check on any of these videos to see if the information they're sharing is true or not. But I've covered enough information to know that they're not lying. You can go do the research. That's a part of the job for Tonight Calm Collective. I'm commissioning you to go do the research. We're not getting emotional no more. Go heal your own trauma so you can see clearly. To lead the people you're supposed to lead. To parent the people you're supposed to parent. To support the people you're supposed to support. But you've got to do your own self-work. You know how many people I invite to do my program free? I just say complete the forms and they can't even do that. You can't sit and complete some forms about yourself and dig deep inside yourself. If you can't do that, what you're doing, and this is not me trying to judge nobody, but you have no business getting pregnant. You have no business serving people if you cannot serve yourself. If you cannot face your own pain, what you're going out there doing. I'm not necessarily right. I could be very wrong. Because what do I know? What do I know? Let's go to the next video.
Percent of teenage girls between 13 and 15.
Let's go back.
37% of teenage girls between 13 and 15 were exposed to unwanted nudity in a week on Instagram. You knew about it. Who did you fire?
Senator, this is why we're building all.
Who did you fire?
Who did you fire?
Senator, I don't think that's.
Nobody.
Who did you fire?
I'm not going to answer that.
Because you didn't fire anybody, right? You didn't take any significant action.
It's appropriate to talk about.
It's not
Let's go back
about
to what he said. Let's go back to what he said.
37% of teenage girls between 13 and 15 were exposed to unwanted nudity in a week.
I don't know if you recall, if you're someone who, you've been here before. I did an episode where they were talking about how many men are on, I think it was 80 something million men are on OnlyFans, and there's only 1 million, over 1 million women on there. You should go back to that episode and watch it.
On Instagram, you knew about it. Who did you fire?
Senator, this is why we're building all.
Who did you fire?
And before, remember I said we're not in our trauma, right? We're not in our trauma today. So before we even think, because those people are doing what they're supposed to do. Government do what government is supposed to do at our level, home level, ground level, yard level, parent level, auntie level, cousin level, because I'm guilty, you know. Do not be fooled. I am such a coward. I am so guilty. And this message is also for me. At our level, ground level. Did we even know of that data? And we're all on Facebook and Instagram. Do we know that this data exists and we have children? How much investigating do you do as a parent? Because parenting is an endless investigation job. It's constantly learning yourself and learning your children and learning everybody around your child and what they're doing, what platform, what. It's not that the platform is not the problem. We are the problem, the users. Those are inanimate objects. I hear people say social media is bad for this. Social media does not live and breathe and have a mind and make decisions. What are we talking about here? But you see, it's easier to blame than to self-work. It's easier to blame. So as we're sitting here, we're not blaming Mark. Thumbs up to you, Mark, for sitting under that pressure, because that person is a regulator and should hold you accountable for your governance of your business. But parents, we have to hold ourselves accountable too. Community, neighborhood, village, we have to hold ourselves accountable too. We're not free of responsibility and accountability here. We're not. We have to know what's going on. Right? We must know what is going on. We have to know. And that's one of the reasons I've said this to the persons closest to me. If I were to become a parent, I would have to be a different person. I'd have to love better. I couldn't sit down here and say to you, I don't know what love is if I had a child. I could not sit here and say, I don't know what love is. I'd have to go find out. Urgency. Yeah? Forgiveness would have to be one of my number one practice if I have kids. Investigation. I would have to fall in love with people. I'd have to love every neighbor like I love myself. The Bible would have different meaning to me. God would have different meaning to me if I became a mother. Because I'm accountable to my child. And I would run my family, my home like a business. Intentional reports. My kids would be engaged in what I'm doing. If I were to become a parent, one, I could not be a single parent because of what would be required of me to show up as a mother. I don't just want to procreate just because I want to have children. What? If that's the reason for having a kid, that's why we're in trouble. Again, we're passion-led. We are passion-led, not process-led. We've got to change that in the Black community. We can't just be passion-led. Yes, you need passion. But that cannot be the guiding force for our decisions that impact lives. The lives we bring into the world. The lives we interact with in the world. It would have to be different for me. That's why I don't have kids, because I don't know that I have the capacity and I'm too much of a coward. And I also have no life partner. Nobody has decided that, you know what, I want to make her my wife. Now, if nobody would even choose me to be their wives, why should I have somebody? Why should I force being a mother on somebody? I'm not saying, I'm not making any statements here. It's just something I'm asking myself. Like, if no one is choosing me to be their wife, why should I enforce myself as a parent on somebody who have no choice, that person who has no choice. I'm just saying, you know. But listen to this. It is not Mark Zuckerberg and his company has obligations to the government. And until we enforce their community guidelines on them, they won't have any obligations to us. You have to make it so that they do. And you have to vet the platforms we're using to decide, okay, what is this and how much of their policies safeguard me for me to determine how much of their program I use. I think Facebook and Meta and Instagram and WhatsApp, they're great. But for me personally, I use them for business because I do not see where there's any personal care for me. And I'm not, it's such a huge organization that I will never be relevant. They are never going to prioritize me. So I make sure that in using it, I am very intentional about what I use it for. I can't just go on there and let loose and then say, oh, they did not protect me. Even if they have such obligations, I can't do that. I have to be the CEO and the boss of my life, and I have to be in charge because I report to me. Yes? Now, let's go to the next clip.
The number one offender type is biological fathers. But by far, it is being done by middle-aged Caucasian men.
Lord, have mercy.
Many, over half of them, college graduates. Many of them are educated, good jobs. This isn't just who we're thinking about. Like, they're technical savvy. And I think that it is time that we call them.
Let's pause right here. And thank you, young man, for saying this. Yeah, I'm going to play another clip and I'm going to come back to this clip. The predators are not who we think it is. And this is it, right? When we hate and bring violence because we're in our trauma, you think that's helping anybody? Who you think that's helping? Oh, kill him! You know, when I look at the word today, like when I sit down and I listen, sometimes I'm like, hold on, man, am I watching a Bible story? You ever used to watch those Bible stories, those old Bible stories, and you see what they call them, the Pharisees? I don't even remember the people. Oh, kill him! And da-da-da. It's the same way we sound. Even sometimes on the pulpit is the same way we sound. Heck, I could be sounding the same way right now. But I'd like to sound different. I would like to sound more like I truly represent God, like I'm in obedience. It is my great hope that when you hear me, when you listen to me, when you interact with me, that all you see is that God loves you and that God is real and that you can get to know God for yourself. Because there's a real God out there, regardless of how the world look. There's a real God out there that cares for you. There's a universe that loves you. I don't know how well I'm doing at that, but I'm trying. Help me. But I'm going to play this other clip because you see, the person you're in love with is a potential predator. While you're judging somebody else, while you're telling Diddy to go under the jail. Who's in your bedroom? Who are you sticking your penis in and whose penis is coming inside your vagina? Let's put it, I just want to bring it down to basics because sex, they say sex sells and people listen to sex conversation. And sometimes when you bring it back to sex, that's when they really get it. You want Sean Combs to go under the jail, some of you. What about the person putting their penis inside of you that just took it outside of a little girl? My father could have been a predator. And I would not be shocked because he was a broken man. I could tell. My mother could have been a predator because she was a broken woman. I didn't see anybody around those people loving them and being there for them and supporting them. I never saw it. And because of that, I can sit and say, who knows what they went through? And some victims become perpetrators. And everybody may not have been the victim that experienced it, but some victims have to watch it happen. Some victims have to live with the fact that their loved ones did it. We're all going through this. And that's what I'm saying, when the hurricane is coming, there is an understanding that hurricane season is coming next year. But when it comes to this, and let me say this, because I think I said girls, it's not our girls alone, it's our children. Where is the where's the program plan for our kids' positive experiences? I'm not talking about sending them to school. That is sending them to somebody. I'm talking about the family, the community, the village, the security plan, the financial plan, the insurance plan, the defense plan, the joy plan, the relationship plan for our kids. That's what I'm telling you. I couldn't have kids because it requires so much. A kid is like a business. It cannot be passion-led. We can't just out here be having kids because I want to have a kid. People tell me all the time, I'd be such a good mother. Where you get that from? We know two different Racquel because I don't know who you're talking about. I don't know that. I do not know that. I'm not even interacting with people on a regular basis. Where could I possibly be a good mother? What works am I demonstrating for someone to look at me and tell me I'd be a good mother? What works am I doing? What? If it's from a business perspective, well, okay, perhaps that. But kids need more than that. Let's go to the clip.
What you think they are. Even if you look at predators are not what you think they are. Even if you look at recent events, if you look at recent shootings we've had, when you look at the people that have carried out some of these shootings, there was one recently this week with Charlie Kirk. Look at that shooter. Does he look like a predator to you? I don't mean that in a cold way. Just does he look at? There was one before that here in the United States. It was the Minneapolis school shooting. Did you see that shooter? Does that look like a predator to you? These predators that we envision in our head that we think are these ruthless, scary-looking people, they tend to not be that. They themselves are not strong. They look for weaker targets because it's easier to take out and manipulate. It's not like what you see in the movie. Like you think you're going to see this scary looking dude. And I'm not saying you're not going to see that from time to time. But these people who do certain things, who take advantage, they don't look like predators. And you have to be careful because you inadvertently attract people who look at you and think, I can manage her. I can do that. I can mold that. I can shape that.
And this whole proliferation of single motherhood, I call single motherhood a crime. And I say that because it's multifaceted criminal behavior. Because if you really do the research to understand single parenting and how it impacts a child, especially single parenting outside a village, a tight-knit village, there's so many risks that single parent has to take. And I think if a single parent must be a single parent, it should be a father. I don't know, like, I just feel like, and I'm not saying all women move with emotions, but I just feel like the father is more logical and strategic and less emotional. So they're paying more attention and just the way they interact. And that they're in the society, they're more seen as a threat. You know, I know a lot of people didn't interact with me because they thought my father was crazy, and he did that with intention. Because I asked, like, why are you different and you behave like you're crazy out there, boy? When I'm talking to you, you read my textbooks ahead of me. And he let me know, you see, when they think I'm crazy and they think I work up here and they think I'm going to do these things, when they think I do these things, they will not touch you. I didn't even know that. And when I asked him, I was an adult. I didn't even know that's why. So you see, a lot of people sometimes sit down and judge people. You don't know what people are doing and why they're doing it. They know why they're doing it. What are you doing? How are you protecting your kids? Listen, I would behave like a mad person if I had to do that for I would do anything to protect my child. I'd be a different person if I was a mother. I just want to reiterate. Bullies exist, right? And I know I was bullied in school, and maybe perhaps most persons can say they were bullied at some point in time, right? And I remember even being bullied by persons who have more siblings, people who feel like they have better support. It's more, they can take you, like she said, they can take you. They feel like, yeah, man, I could take that one. They will target your kids, and sometimes your kids don't even know they're being targeted. They can't find the words to even use to tell you. It's not that someone does not want to say something bad is happening to them, why they don't say it. Sometimes they don't even know. Sometimes they self-blame, like I did. They blame themselves. Why was I here in the first place? So I wanted to play this and then go back to this one. Predators are not who you think it is.
Predators are not what you think they are. Even if you look at recent events, if you look at recent shootings we've had, when you look at the people that have carried out some of these shootings, there was one recently this week with Charlie Kirk. Look at that shooter. Does he look like a predator to you? I don't mean that in a cold way. Just does he look it? There was one before that here in the United States. It was the Minneapolis school shooting. Did you see?
And you can go and look for yourself. Just check things for yourself, because I know we understand what she's talking about. The predators don't necessarily look the way you expect them to look. Everyone is a potential predator and everyone is a potential threat. Mother, father, brother, sister. Yeah.
The number one offender type is biological fathers, but by far it is being done by middle-aged Caucasian men. Many, over half of them, college graduates. Many of them are educated, good jobs. This isn't just who we're thinking about. Like they're technical savvy, and I think that it is time that we call them out. Like that, we can't stand by and stand back. Like we have to stand up and say, not only are we not doing our job as men, it's actually the opposite. Instead of being defenders and protectors of our families, we're hurting and abusing.
My God. They had this thing.
You can't stand by.
They had this thing, man or bear, who would you fear most? Like something to the effect of, if you're in the woods, who would you run to? The man or the bear, who would you run from? Something to that effect. You can check it out, okay? Man or bear. Are men protectors? Or is that a front for access? I'm just asking. Let's go to this next clip.
You want to know what's wrong with this country? Let me show you what's wrong with this country. This is what's fucking wrong with this country. A Texas megachurch pastor pleads guilty to SAing a child. He was given a 10-year sentence, but will only serve 6 months in county jail.
6 months.
Not a trans person, not a queer person.
Not Diddy.
A white pastor. And not even serving the full 10 years. 6 months. 6 fucking months. Do you know that this man was Orange Julius's spiritual advisor? Worked on his campaign, helped with his campaign. He helped him.
I'm not sure what he said just now. Did he say orange something? President Trump. I don't endorse that. I don't like that.
Julius's spiritual advisor. Worked on.
I don't like the diminishing of people. I like give people their respect. See them for who they are. Respect them where they are. Even a predator. Let me tell you something. Unless I tell you, if I was to become a mother, I'd be a different person. I want to see you for who you are, respect you where you are for what you are, and trust you for who you are, and deal with you for who you are. That's the kind of business I like to do. Let's just be who we are. Because without truth and without real and without authenticity, I can't protect, I can't build, I can't prepare. And that's why we have to remove those damn emotions and the trauma. Go heal from the trauma, man. Go get help for your trauma. This is not something you can overpower. Okay, let me stop crying. Let me. No, go get help. I got help. That's why I'm able to do it. And I empty myself and I come right on here and I tell you my truth. I am not ashamed of anything. You have a secret for me? Go on, do it. Because guess what? All you're going to do is bring me to my breakdown so I can get to the breakthrough. I want to heal. I want to be my best self. I want to be the best version of myself for the angels and the people around me who are they're so darn good to me. People are so kind to me. I want to be my best self for those people who care about me. Yes, that's where I'm at in my world. So I don't mind. Heck, if someone tell you something about me, keep their secret. Don't even worry about me. Keep their secret and do with it what you will. Because I have no enemies. Because God did not design me and create me with any. What God has done is created me in a way that I have an environment that molds me into the direction of what God wants me to become. And my job is to pay attention. My job is to do my self-work and know God for myself, so I can get the best out of each encounter. Gotta pay attention. While people were busy saying Sean Combs was supposed to go under the jail, where is the outcry? Where is the outcry? 6 months, and Sean Combs got 50 months for consensual sex with adults.
For this country.
6
a Texas
months.
megachurch pastor pleads guilty to SAing a child. He was given a 10-year sentence, but will only serve 6 months in county jail.
Mm-hmm.
Not a trans person, not a queer person, a white pastor, and not even serving the full 10 years. 6 months. 6 fucking months. Do you know that this man was Orange Julius's spiritual advisor?
I'm not
Worked on his
quite
campaign,
sure what
helped with
name
his
he said,
campaign.
but I know the report said that he was he worked with President Trump. But working with someone doesn't mean that they know what you were doing or who you were. And I'm not saying they didn't know, but I cannot hold someone accountable for someone else's behavior, or even against something I don't have reports or evidence or something suggesting from. So I don't like this thing where we throw people's names in it, but I also understand where sharing the information show you what credibility this person have in his field, though what lifestyle he was living. See, because when you hear that, if you're going to hire someone and you hear, oh, this person worked with a president, that's credibility, right? That's, oh my gosh. So you're thinking, oh, so this is a good person, but no. And that's why you see this good and bad thing. I think it confuses us. I don't even operate under that calendar no more. This good, bad, people are people. People are people. I mean, I still use words because I've been conditioned to do so, but I try to be intentional. I'm doing the work. It's heavy lifting. It's not easy to break out of that practice. Because we have these predetermined ideas about people, we don't even put up our guards. He is the head of a mega church.
He helped him in his first term, helped him in his second term. And when the allegations came out, guess what? Trump said, I don't know him. I don't know anything about him. Meanwhile, he had a roundtable with him in 2024. This is shit you should be outraged about. This stuff. You know who else had ties with him? Who was friendly with him? You guessed it, the one who said stop attacking pedos. That guy. Wake the fuck up and see what is in front of your fucking face.
And you know what? People are going to be busy talking about the fact that he said fuck. You know, sometimes when I see the little things that we pay attention to, the things that cause no harm, that's what we pay attention to. And to an extent, I have compassion for that, because I think it's because we feel small and we feel like we lack power. So we spend our time. It's like the bully, right? The bully focus on the victim they feel they can overpower. We focus on the critiquing what we feel we're above. Can we graduate and elevate? Because you're more powerful than that. And power is not the requirement here. Wisdom is, heart is, God is, the children is, or are, whatever. Our healing. We're not talking about these stories because we want to lambast these people. No, that pastor, I'm not here to hate him. I'm here to learn. I'm here to see him. I'm here for the information, for what God is using him to empower me for. God is using him to say, take away the veils from your eyes. God is putting him out there. God didn't put him out there just because God wants to show you how bad the world is. No, God is saying, I've used him to show you that you don't know what predators look like and how you treat them matter. Because while you're sitting with your pastor tearing down Diddy, the same pastor is doing worse than Diddy. So what do you think the pastor going to tell you about Diddy? Trying to deflect from himself. What happens when we find that the person who we have proximity with is worse than the person who we've been criticizing on TV? We go silent, right? We go silent. Because now we're going to self-protection mode, right? I dare you to make yourself vulnerable. Put yourself out there. I dare you to preach to yourself live. I dare you to do the work on yourself. And I dare me too.
Wake the fuck up and see what is in front of your fucking face.
Right before us.
Predators friends with predators. Predators protecting other predators.
Ooh.
You wonder why people don't trust Christians. It's because you follow people like that without any fucking questioning, without any
question.
You support politicians who are friends with those people.
Money talk, they say, and bullshit walk. Isn't that what they say in Jamaica? I don't know where else they say. No, I'm gonna play this black man, and you know, forgive me, black man, because I'm gonna play it. I feel like black men get so much, you know, but I have no obligation to people who. I have an obligation to God and myself, and if this isn't love, then I don't know what love is. Because if love isn't accountability, if love isn't saying, expose the truth so we can see it and maybe see ourselves to do the work, then what is love? I've been asking. I don't know what it is. All right.
Sleep with that, but we don't really want to be with that.
Jehovah.
I think that's filthy. Why would you sleep in that? And if you're judging it, you're like, ew, I don't.
This man is still on TV. I haven't seen where nobody have pulled up this man yet and say, yo, come here. We need to have a conversation in love and accountability and all of that. Where are the men? I've seen men go in front of him, sit down and hickey and go on and this play thing like, men. Where is his daddy? His father, because he just spoke about his mother, because who else could he be talking about but his mother? I don't care who wants to be mad at me. Cam Newton is talking about his mama. Because before he can speak on any other woman, he speaks on his mama, his mother. And I'm not even saying that disrespectfully. I am saying it with much respect, mama. And this is not because I never had a mother, so I don't respect mothers. That's not what this is either. Contrary to what one may think, I respect mothers, including my own. And every time I think about women and I talk about women, my mother comes to my mind. You see, I said this once on my Facebook page. Some men, and even women perhaps, I don't know, I don't date women. Based on my understanding and experience with men, I think men respect and love, quote unquote, love their mothers out of obligation and guilt. You hear me? Obligation and guilt. And that's why for me personally, this is what I think personally. This is why I think a lot of black men, especially when they have some achievements or when they get to where they think they're comfortable and the world's view of them matter to them, they don't want to be with a black woman because they really don't want to be with their mothers. And I'm not saying it's mama's fault, because God knows a lot of our mothers were single mothers, even when married. Oh my gosh. Are we going to talk the truth here? Will we talk the truth? Okay. Cam Newton is talking about his mother. Daddy, I wonder what you taught this young man. What did you demonstrate? And I'm not talking about what you told him with your mouth. Your demonstration, your actions, that Cam Newton, your child, based on his observation, who are you being that he could open his mouth and say this, and I love him for it. Let me tell you something. I'm not even mad at the man. I have so much respect that he said it out loud, because the most dangerous ones don't speak it. They just keep living it. And they lie and they pretend. The pastor, the mega pastor. Just sleep with that. He didn't marry that. He just slept with that 12-year-old. He's not marrying that. Why does he have to worry about the age? Why does a man have to worry about the age? They're just fucking that. See? And a church will be so busy listening to me say fuck that they don't even realize the extent of the topic I'm talking about. Because you see, if it's covered, they don't have to worry about it, because we're worried about what something look like, what it sound like, how people may feel about something. We talk about bad words and expletives. Kids are out here being sexually assaulted where we have time to talk about expletives and expressions. Where we have time for that. What's the plan? What is the protection plan for our kids? Do we prepare for hurricanes that are coming the next 10 years? Where's the Vision 2030 plan for the protection of our kids? I'm sorry. Let me not shout. I don't mean to shout. I'm just passionate. This is serious. This man just said. Why? And I'm saying, and I bless him for saying it out loud, because until he says it, we don't know it exists to address it. So thank you, Cam Newton. Who cares about the age of a child? It's just pussy. It's just ass. And I want to fuck. I'm not marrying this child. I'm just going to fuck it. Maybe give it some dollars and I'm moving on. Listen to what this man said.
We will sleep with that.
Mm-hmm. Cam Newton is talking. He has to be talking about his mom. Who else? Who else did he watch with his dad, with or without his father, from baby to infant, to kindergarten, to teenage years, to now as an adult? Who has been the constant in his life? He will sleep with that. This man has a mother. So it has to be his mom he's talking about. And that's my opinion.
We will sleep with that, but we don't really want to be with that.
I don't need to play anymore, because I played this in another segment already. And I'm going to go right back to this clip.
Does that look like a predator to you?
Let's go back.
Predators are not what you think they are. Even if you look at recent events, if you look at recent shootings we've had.
Remember I said remove the emotions. We're not mad at Cam. We're not mad at him. We're thankful to him. Because at least he is showing who he is. He's telling you where he sits, where he stands. Because you see, when you're busy mad at your predator remember that predator is not alone. It shouldn't be so shocking that a brother, a father, a mother, somebody else became a predator, because even the people we have on pedestals are showing their asses, and we're supposed to pay attention and see it. So it cannot just be hating people. That cannot be the solution. That can't be the plan for the hating them and killing them and putting them underneath the jail cannot be the 2030 plan for the protection of our kids. That's what I'm trying to say. We have to take a different approach, a more humane approach, an approach that can look into the Cam Newtons and understand why with a mother he'd make such a statement, to learn to understand his own trauma that led to this. That's what I'm saying. Cam Newton is talking about his mom. Nobody can tell me otherwise. What were the trauma? Were the traumas, or what was the trauma that this young man went through as a kid, that he would make such a statement having had a mom? He didn't even consider her, because he didn't regard her higher than the rest of whoever he's speaking about. So he didn't even think about her. You don't have to see the pain in his eyes, but I promise you this, until you see the pain in his, you can't protect your kid. That man, That mega church pastor, until you see the pain in his, you can protect your kids. So hate them all you want. Hate them all you want. Because if that's your protection plan, if hate is your protection plan, buckle up. Because guess what? Hate also produces something. We're always creating, always creating. Don't forget that. But I want us to remember this.
Predators are not what you think they are.
Predators are not what you think they are. Now I'm going to go to my final clip for today. And hang on, this clip is, it's really just kind of wrapping up this segment, because all of these things that are happening, first of all, we have to admit, this is not happenstance. Sexual trauma is like building a house. It's a part of the culture. It's become a part of the way of life in our lives. So we can pretend like it just happened once in a while, or we can say, you know what, this is imminent danger. We've got to have a plan. We have to see it different. We have to plan different. We have to sit up, community meetings, neighborhood calls, town halls. We need, this is something we need to talk about, and everybody with their emotions and their unhealed trauma, stay home. We need strategic planning for this. People still get affected by hurricanes, but we're not so emotional about it. And I'm not saying you should become passive about it and like you shouldn't care. I'm saying go heal, because we need strategy around this. Or we're all agreeing that it's okay for it to be a part of the fabric of our communities, so let it stay. Let it stay. It's okay. Because we're choosing one way or another. And one of the things in our system structure that allows these, that not allows it, but yes, it allows for it. And I think in the planning, in the financial planning of the world, I think it's something that they're very conscious and intentional about. And I'm saying this as my opinion. I think leaders and money movers and shakers and the people who manage the resources of the world, government leaders, even church leaders, knowingly or unknowingly, build the system for exactly what is happening. There are no errors here. There's no mistake here. We know what we're doing. And that's why those who have children who they don't want this to happen to, we have to become a force. We have to build an army to defend proactively against this. Because it's not going to be a universal move. It won't be. Because you see, too many people are invested. Too many people are benefiting financially from these trauma. Trauma economy exists. It's an economy. Trauma sells. Just like they say sex sells. Trauma sells. That's why people come crying and they tell their story and they sell books and people buy the books, because trauma is an economy. So you have to be intentional about it. You have to put money towards protecting your kids, and it starts with investing in your own self-healing and repurposing of trauma. Yes. So there is a financial structure around all of these issues, in my opinion, and that's why I'm going to play this clip, because you see, why would poverty be such an accepted state when we understand the vulnerability that poverty brings to families and kids? Why would we be at a state where we accept poverty? Why?
Poverty is a man-made problem. No one is, born poor necessarily. They're born into systems that we need to fix. And that's on us to call upon our policymakers and leaders and people in power, who tend to be the loudest ones in the room, to change that. So that's what we're doing tonight. Your voice matters, and your voice calling your policymakers matters.
And that's it. As I was sitting here and I'm like, do you have anything else to say? I was saying to myself, and I'm like, I remember I was having a conversation with one of my angels the other day. And as I was trying to reiterate to her what I was saying, she said to me, I understand. I know what you're saying. And so I know, collective, that you understand. And to the extent that sometimes I reinforce or express, it's just, I'm trying to be as clear as I possibly can. But I think the message has been sent home, or at least I hope, or maybe we'll need more episodes that are more focused and whatever. But there are systems in place that work against your children. To combat that, you have to equally put systems in place to form a hedge of protection around your kids. And that includes even having even the people you select, and being intentional. You can just fall into family, or you can build a family. You can fall into neighborhood, or you can build a neighborhood. You know what I mean? So you can fall into community and village, or you can build one. Find one, be intentional about it. But I am not a parent, so I repeat, I do not, no amount of education or love for my nieces or nephews or other people's children or godchildren or whatever. No amount of experiences with kids will ever make it so that I love people's children more than they do. So that's not why I'm here. I'm just here to ask questions, raise concerns, share issue, bring awareness to things, and then you can sit to yourself and decide if anything I said here matters to you, or could potentially affect you, or is relevant or important or useful to you. Because nothing I do will ever make it so that I love your kid more than you do. You love your children. Even the one who's harming their children love their children more than I ever could. So I'm not here to replace any parent. I'm not here to speak for any parent, because I'm not one. But as I look at the world today, it's the reason I am not one. Because I'd have to have a strong male leadership to have a child. And I would have to be I would become a different kind of woman, a different kind of person. Because it would become about my child. So I'm not telling anyone what to do. I'm just saying. These things are not happening to our kids by accident. It's not. So do your investigation and learn more. Okay, so before I go today, I just want to share a little something with you. Because of the conversation, that we just had about the protection of our kids. I don't have kids, but I don't know if I'm doing it the right way, but this is my attempt at supporting parents and children and community. This is my contribution to community, building a community called the Calm Collective, wherein I can be of service and support to those who see that kind of value in me and want to invest in having me as a part of their network and their community and their village, right? If you choose to have me as part of your village, then here I am. You can just go, if you'd like to choose me to be a part of your community or network or whatever, go to my coach ministry and sign up for the Calm Collective, and let us intersect, let us partner, let us collaborate, and see how we can work together to support each other, because that's why I'm here for sure. That's why I'm here. So today I want to share with you something. I call it my Dear Little Black Girl series. So the Dear Little Black Girl series is the Dear Little Black Girl series pairs my thoughts, Coach Racquel's thoughts, provoking quotes, and vibrant, joyful art, each one a seed of empowerment, resilience, and self-love. These moments are more than words. They're life lessons wrapped in color, culture, and confidence, reminding every girl and the girl inside every woman that her voice matters, her spirit is strong, and her story is worth telling. And it's not because I am biased why I do the one about the girl, it's because I'm a girl. And I've had persons ask me, what about the boys? And I'm trying to develop the courage to see if I could ask any of the males that I know if they would work on something like that with me. And I'm actually going to ask because I have someone in mind who have said to me, I'd be happy to partner with you again. And so, And so I'm going to ask and see if he would collaborate with me to do one for the boys. All right, we'll see. Now, the 10 Dear Little Black Girl card girl affirmation cards, because they are affirmation cards. It's that the reason I designed this is because Black girls are often bombarded by negative messages, and these cards offer messages designed to empower their minds, And here are some of the themes that I have for the Dear Little Black Girls. So I recently did the Law Edition. I have the Empowerment Edition, the Know God for Yourself Edition, Own Your Truth Edition. We have the 10 Things to Never Do Edition. We have the Switch It Up, 10 letters to decode the signals and reclaim your power. I might share that one with you. And then we have Know When to Leave. Know When to Leave, the No Struggle Love Edition, the Be Problematic, and there's an error, it says problematic, but it should be problematic. 10 letters to remind you to fight for your boundaries, your safety, and freedom. This is probably the most appropriate one based on the topic so far. And then we have the Dear Little Black Girl, Guard Your Emotions. Man, I want to share all of them with you. 10 lessons to cultivate emotional intelligence and protect your peace for your kids. The Boss Moves one, that's for business, right? So these are the different. I had 100 first, but I've added the law one. So now we are at 110 cards. I believe these are cards that, I'm not signing. These are cards that you should be sharing with your children. So these cards are here because I designed them based on my own experience, because I was a parentless child is how I see it, because my parents weren't around. I was neglected, abandoned, and even disregarded, because I had parents who just did not have the experience, did not have the support, did not have the understanding that was needed to raise a young girl. You know what I mean? And when you look out there and all of what's happening with Black girls, I do think this is needed. So now it's up to the parents to decide, okay, this Racquel, who does not have children, she did this as a child, to say, as a child, I would have wanted my parents to do this, right? To expose me to these kinds of materials. Now, as a parent, it's now up to you to say, okay, now that this is available, I want to add this to the protection plan I have for my kids, to include this kind of information, this kind of empowerment that I read to them and share with them. And because it's designed in a way to get their attention, it's designed in a way to get our attention. It's designed in animation because that's what kids, so it can hold your kids' attention and hopefully yours. So it's not, I've done my part. Now it's up to the parents to decide that this is worth it for them. It's up to you to now decide if this is of value to you. It's not my place to sell it to you. I come and read them myself because I need them. I've even printed some because I have plans to print them in card stacks and sell them. But I don't have to do that. It's right there on the website. Everybody's on their phone. So if this is important to you, if you're not doing this, it's because you don't see the value in it and you don't see how it could help your kid. Because I don't see any parent as a parent who does not want to help their kid. And if that's the case, then, oh, well, it's not for you. That's okay. I know it's empowering for me. And when I read it, it's very healing for me. And I wish I had these little tidbits to think about as a child, because it's not like the parent don't know this, but you're not sitting down and collating it. And this is process. This is strategy. This is system. Too much of us are operating from up here, our minds. You need to build system. What is against you is a system. You have to build a system to then go back up against, to protect and build that hedge of protection. But I'm not a parent. You decide. You decide. All right? You decide. So this is it for today. I just want to say thank you so much for staying with me today. Thank you for hanging out with Coach Racquel right here on Refresh, Relax, Renew, episode 28. episode 28. It was such a pleasure for me to be here with you today. I had a good time. I hope that you had a good time. And I'm just going to say for now, have a great day, great rest of week. And I wish you nothing but the absolute best for you and your family. And don't you forget, as I say this, let me make myself bigger again when I say this, because this is probably the most important thing I'm going to say out of all of this. I have my opinions, I have my perspectives, I have my experiences. But in your life, it is your opinions, your experiences, your decisions, your choices that are paramount. And because I have my thoughts and my research and my ideas and all of these things, it does not diminish your voice and your instinct. Your voice, your instinct, and your knowledge of God is above all others, including mine. This is just my way of trying to let you know that I'm available if you need support, and I'm letting you know what I do. And if you see value in it, join the Calm Collective. Let's work together. If not, enjoy your life. Go live and be happy and thrive, because that is what makes me happy anyway. Yes? Thank you so much for watching. And before I send you off today, here's your life assignment, a reflective challenge for your journal or next quiet moment. You know what, this is what I should do every week. I need to give you an assignment or something like that. Something to, some self-love, something, some self-worth, something, Sorry, my clothes, yeah. Anyway, so here's what I'd like for you to do for me. Write 5 professional boundaries that are non-negotiable to you. And I'm going to bring mine next week. Or should I say it now? Okay. 5 professional boundaries that are non-negotiable to you. Then outline how each one contributes to your quality of life. Let me see if I can give you some of my example. All right. My time management. Very, very important to me. It's important to me because I'm an entrepreneur and I have to manage my time to manage my life in order to manage your business and the area of your business that I'm in charge of. So my time management is a big deal for me. The next thing is that's big for me is your access to me. You must book me. That's a part of my boundaries, one of my boundaries that are very important to me. I'm one of those persons who feel I go back and I question myself, like if someone just burst in on me without asking, I'm like, what did I do that you would feel the need or disrespect? It comes across as disrespect to me when you take my time or you take of me without preparing me. You just access me. And again, it's dependent. It's also is based on our agreements that we make based on what relationship we have, because that's now is the next one for me, right? So it's time, access. I need you to know. So for example, I will let people know I work between these hours and these are the things you need to do if you want to reach me. Access is time, my time and access. Communication, big deal. Communication is everything. I need clarity. I need clarity in order to function and operate, right? I need to know where we're going. What are we doing? Why are we here? What's the goal here? What's the objective? Why are we here? What are we seeking to accomplish? And 3, I must be offering solutions. If I'm not offering some kind of solution or support, I will feel useless. I must feel like I'm contributing, and it must be aligned to my divine purpose. So solution, and so it's time, access, communication, time, access, communication, the goal in mind, and what I'm offering. I must be clear on offering solution and support. So those are my non-negotiable, and it runs across my life. That's what I'm saying. Like, we give the best to business and to our jobs, and then the worst to our personal lives. It shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way. Our personal life should be first with structure, and then that should overflow everywhere else. Yes, yes. And so please write 5 professional boundaries that are non-negotiable to you, then outline how each one contributes to the quality of your life. I couldn't live without my 5 because my 5 allows for me to be in complete wellness. It allows for me to show up for people. It allows for me to have clarity so I can actually be of value to you. I can actually know what to do and how to support you, things like that, right? And so it improves my entire quality of life and my increases my capacity to best serve those who I am commissioned to serve. Because peace is not passive, it's protected. Boundaries don't push people away. They teach the world how to treat you. And anyone it pushes away is because they did not belong and they did not align. Thank you for being a part of today's conversation here on Refresh, Relax, Renew. Remember to subscribe, share, and join the members inside the Calm Collective for exclusive reflections, resources, and community support. Until next time, refresh your mind, relax your body, renew your vision. I'm Coach Racquel, and this is I'm Coach Racquel, and this is your weekly reset. Go be great. Bye. I love to open new packages. There will be the latest information on top funding opportunities for entrepreneurs who are seeking funding. Come along with me. I'm Coach Racquel, and this is a passion project for me, so I'm so happy to bring this to you. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching.
Unlock your potential every Thursday with our podcast, Refresh, Relax, Renew. Join Coach Racquel as she guides you through personal development journeys. Each episode focuses on actionable steps to enhance your personal journey. The podcast features 3 main segments to keep you engaged. We start with discussions on trending topics relevant to your growth. Then we unbox solutions to common challenges we face daily. Finally, stay updated with fresh funding opportunities each week. Tune in every Thursday for new episodes, and see you there.
Welcome to mycoachministry.com. We're on a mission to empower 1 million purpose-driven entrepreneurs, turning calling into currency. Through strategic coaching, we guide visionary leaders, brand elevation, and creative empowerment, helping leaders break barriers and own their identity. Build impactful, wealth-generating brands that echo across generations.